All right, good morning, Michael. Sorry for being tardy and delaying this. Um, Here's what I would tell you while you're in the processes of losing weight, and if I don't know what the frame of time and the length of time that you lost this weight, but 200 pounds is significant, obviously. Chances are you're way stronger than you think you are. And the weight that you're moving, if it's in power movements like squat, bench, deadlift, power clean, is significantly less. Here's why. It's not just about losing weight and losing strength. What is really changed, and for you very, very dramatically, is your leverage. When you're big, and trust me, I know something about being big, its strength is really about leverage and how you create that leverage. So, with such a huge amount of leverage change, it takes a while. Here's what I tell athletes: when you move down a weight class, just a weight class, we're talking even super heavyweight to say a lighter, like the 30 super heavyweight to 308 weight class, which I've done that. It takes to mature fully into that weight class, which means learning the leverages and everything kind of equalizing. It takes about a year, and you still want to continue in this process to lose weight. So the first thing that's going to be vital for you is maintaining some patience. We've got to look at what you're doing training wise. Now, if you're walking like you were with a 650-pound yoke, you're not weak. So, but the power movements are going to be a struggle for you right now because there's no equalization period in learning your leverages. They're constantly, to be honest, they're constantly changing. So what I'd like to see is just your squat form from the front and the side, your deadlift from the front and the side, a good open picture video of your bench, and then any of the movements that you're doing that, I don't know, after years and years of football and throwing and everything else that you've done, and then being a really large, you're a big dude anyway. And what people take for granted from big people is recovery and the effects of exertion are very, very different for a big person versus a little person. Sure, we can move an enormous amount of weight, and even with your athleticism and being very dynamic, what we see, it's like the difference in a tomcat that eats a large meal. He takes a little nap and boom, he's ready to rip. You see a lion or a tiger in the wild eat a large meal, they sleep for 12 hours. And there's a reason for that. Everything spins a lot differently for large people, regardless of how fit and how lean. None of that matters. Big is big, and then the world is very different for us. We don't fit in things. It doesn't matter that you're smaller. You're still a big dude. So it's going to require one, maintaining discipline and staying composed and not getting frustrated when the numbers don't align with what you think is progress. See, you're going to measure all your progress in a linear format. It ain't going to happen. It doesn't matter how special of an athlete anybody is. When you're dropping this kind of weight and it's significant, it takes time for all of that to come full circle. So I'd like to see video of any of the power movements that you're doing and then see what you're currently doing. You're clearly eating better. There's no way to lose the weight if your eating is not on point. Just no way to do it. And you're like me. You like bourbon. And rye, and you know all those things count too. So and you can know that I'm not suggesting you stop doing that. It's just these are the things that we have to pay attention to. So I'd love to see some power movements and anything training wise that you can send me. Now I want you to to tell your players and tell your kids, I used to pick you up. This had to be 2000, 2001, 2002 in those areas. I don't even know if I was picking you up. Chances are you weren't driving, and we'd get you super early and fold your big ass up into one of our little cars and take you to the gym. And I will never forget where you told me, Coach, I can squat 600 pounds. All right, well, let's see. And I think we got up to 315 or so, and you did about a half squat, which, that you just didn't know. And you took it very well when I was very critical of that and explained to you what it was going to take to be a 600-pound squatter. The thing that I always loved is that you worked hard and you loved what you did. I always enjoyed going to the track meets and seeing you throw and stuff like that. And of course, followed you with your NFL career, and then seeing you land as a coach. For me, that's a great thing. And so to see things come full circle, and you got your lady, and you got your daughter, and those are things that are good for an old coach's soul. You want your kids to excel, and I didn't get to coach you in football, and I didn't get to coach you in powerlifting, but I certainly got to spend some time with you in the gym. And you always want to see kids become as good a versions of themselves as they can, and be successful, and clearly you're doing that. And you're doing it in a world that's really weird right now. you know we're looking at all the wrong things as a society, and despite all that, you know here you are. You're at the table and making it happen. And they ain't never going to be a time that this old man ain't going to be for that. So that's why I bought a bottle of the rye. That's why I message you and invite you to see the gym, anytime you can. And I'll share this with you as well. I was at Graves Fitness in Mount Juliet when it was open, and I was coaching some people, and this big old boy comes in. He goes, "You're Big Wes's dad," and I knew that I knew him, but I couldn't place him. It'd probably been 10 years at that time since I'd seen Nick O'Rick. He gave me a big old hug, and I just was astounded. So to see you boys, of course, all the things that Nick has gone through, and he's good buddies with a friend of mine in the powerlifting world that I'm sure that you're familiar with. And to go through the things that he's done, and he's got the wife and got the children, and just crushing life. I'm so proud of you boys. And Wes the same. He's married now, and he's got his businesses going on and stuff. So you guys doing so well. When I was younger than you guys and your age, yeah, I didn't have it so together. So I'm exceedingly proud. Anyway, to close, before I get any more long-winded, let's look at your power movements, and let's see what we can do. Look at your training, and then I'll make some suggestions, and then we'll just track it and see how it goes. And once you get to the body weight that you want to, then we can start refining what you do. And as your body continues to refine as well, it'll equalize, and you'll start maturing into those new leverage points. And you're very athletic still. And again, if you're walking with a 650 yoke like you were, and trust me, I know something about that, we're not that far away from being strong. So right now, your consistency is your measure of progress. We have time for linear progress. You know how to reach me, and reach out anytime. You're certainly welcome at my home and gym anytime you're in the area. Pack them up and bring them and come stay. All right. Love you, brother.